All right, YouTube friends, today we're going to talk about the 2019 Ford Edge ST, which I just picked up. I got a white one just like the one you can see right here. It says right here from $42,355. Seems a little steep. When these came out, I was looking for one for my wife. Not necessarily just because it had the ST badge on it, but because they're pretty quick. I had a 2019 or 2017 Ford Focus RS, and it was awesome, but I blew up the motor at 8,200 miles. I had it tuned at the time. That's it. No other mods. The dealer caught it, decided to cancel my warranty, return to the car to me with a blown motor, broken piston skirt on the bottom end. You can see that in another one of our YouTube videos where we kind of pull apart the bottom end of the Focus RS and discover some of the issues we found with only 8,000 miles on it. So moving forward from that, I traded that in. I got the motor put in. I got everything fixed on it. After a few other issues, my brother tried to buy it, decided it wasn't for him. We had a X clutch in there that was giving us a lot of issues. So at the end of the day, we decided it was time to trade it in. I couldn't sell the thing. I had it posted up for a couple of months. They take a pretty specific buyer, and right now the market is pretty flooded with the RS. So we decided to move on to the 2019 Edge ST, and I didn't get a 2020 because the 2019s were coming down in price. So this says from 42. I picked mine up for 36,500. Traded my RS in for exactly what I owed on it, so I didn't make any money off it, but I didn't lose any at the end of the day other than the repair expenses. But this thing is fantastic. I mean, they look really nice. I mean, here's a picture of pretty much the exact same one we have right here. Minus the red calipers, but they're nice looking vehicles. They're really nice. The interior is fantastic. On the exterior, the ST badge is kind of small. That's one of my complaints right here. But overall, it's a really nice ride. My wife loves it. We're going to get the front windows tinted a little bit. We're in Minnesota here, so I'm not going to get too crazy. One thing my brother noticed the other day is these headlights and the fog lights actually line up perfect with this little stripe right here. And I thought that was kind of cool because I missed it when I was first looking at the car. But once he brought it up, I discovered I actually really like it a lot. We have two-tone rims on ours, which is a little bit different. I elected not to get the Brembo brakes. Mainly I was reading through the Edge ST Facebook group, which take them all with a grain of salt, but at the end of the day, I didn't go with it because we're not going to track the thing. It's a safe SUV for my wife and, you know, potential future kids. I do think they have really good safety ratings. A lot of people bash them. I mean, right here, this Greg Fink guy right here. A sharper edge, but not worthy of the ST badge. The Edge Sport was essentially the ST before they decided to put the ST brand on it and infuriate a lot of enthusiasts in the ST community, which, you know, some of those are, another car I own is the 2013 Focus ST, and also the 2018 Ford Fiesta ST, and I actually have a white one just like this. Well, that's not an ST. But yeah, they're actually fantastic cars, all of them. I've liked all the STs I've owned. I've had no issues with them, but the RS for some reason just had tons of issues, which led us back to the Edge. Now, a lot of people are wondering, you know, why does it have the ST badge on it? They made it pretty quick. Moving back here, let's go back to specifications here. It's actually pretty impressive how they've managed to take a mere 335 horsepower, and it feels like more. I mean, this thing spanks the Focus ST stock and the Fiesta ST stock. Not even close. And actually, I know my buddy's gonna get mad for bringing it up, but we did a review on a Fiat Abarth 500 or Fiat 500 Abarth, and he's got a lot of work into it. I mean, it's pretty quick. It can beat my Focus ST no problem, and the Edge was still able to take it down with a little manipulation. You got to put it in sport mode. I actually use the paddle shifters to make sure I was in the right gear because the transmission kind of hunts when it's not used to going quick. So if your wife daily drives this all day long and then you hop in and floor it and it doesn't do what you want, don't be surprised because it has all that self-learning in it. But to run through the specs real quick for the 2019 Ford Edge ST, which is what we have, it's a twin turbocharged 2.7-liter V6. You hear a lot of issues with those, but at the end of the day, it'll be paid off in 6 years. Warranty will be up for a year, so we'll have to worry about it for 1 year, and then I'm either going to build it up and put some bigger turbos on it, make it a little fun car, but still drivable for my wife, or we're going to get rid of it and move on to the next thing in 5 years, which who knows if they're even going to have an Edge ST by then. My guess is it'll all go hybrid, if not fully electric. Has an 8-speed automatic transmission. Can't pretend I'm a huge fan of it. You hear a lot of people bringing them to the dealerships, and what usually comes up is a reprogram on the transmission, which is okay, but it's just you know, an extra pain. Nobody wants to bring their vehicles to the dealer all the time. All-wheel drive, obviously, it's amazing. The thing launches like a beast. Speed 0 to 60 in 6 seconds. I think it's faster than that. I'm actually really confident it's faster than that because, I don't know, just the thing takes off. It feels way faster than 6. 4,477 pounds. Kind of heavy, but it's an SUV, so what do you expect? Efficiency, did not buy it for the fuel economy. Seats 5 comfortably, and I would definitely agree with that. I mean, it's a really smooth ride. I mean, it's got a little bit of a sporty suspension, but no, I really like it. So if we take those specs, 335 horsepower, and we put those in comparison with what I like to look for, because if you're going to go top speed, that's fine, but we usually buy cars for their 0 to 60 times. Just because you're driving around. So if I want to leave a stoplight quick, you know, I'm racing somebody to the off-ramp, whatever, that's the number I'm looking for. So let's compare that. My Focus ST has 252 horsepower, 270 foot-pounds of torque, and 6-speed manual transmission. They claim 0 to 60 in 6.5, half a second slower than the Edge ST, which is fine. That is in perfect conditions with a perfect driver who knows how to drive that manual flawlessly. So that is the best time they could consistently get so that they could make that claim. Top speed 155 miles an hour. Don't care. I'm never going to go that fast, but it's nice to know. Front wheel drive. One of the reasons I got the RS is I live in Minnesota. I had the money. I kind of got greedy for it after I had a Fiesta ST. Biggest mistake I ever made, but the all-wheel drive was amazing. So front wheel drive is a little limiting. Get a lot of wheel spin, especially if you build these up and you don't know how to, you know, buy the right tires or how to, you know, follow your power with, you know, your desires. So you can build it up to 400 horsepower, but if you're running crappy tires, you're just going to wheel spin like crazy in a front wheel drive car. Curb weight, 3,223 pounds, so 1,500 pounds lighter. Is that good math there? Let's go check. 4,400 pounds, 3,300 pounds. So a little bit off, 1,200 pounds. Quick math. Seating, 5, sure. I mean, you can fit people in the back of it and you'll be okay. But I do like the Focus ST. I don't like the Recaros that come with it, and I actually have mine up for sale right now because I just picked up a 2018 Fiesta ST after owning a 2016 Fiesta ST that I loved and got rid of for the RS, and it was the biggest regret I ever made, and this is my favorite of the three. I like the Edge for what it is. This is the most fun. The Fiesta ST is one of those cars where I didn't know it existed. This is what got me into Ford. It's what got me into the enthusiast community with, you know, Save the Manual, all that kind of good stuff. But the Fiesta is by far my favorite. I went with the non-Recaros, no sunroof, mainly because I live in Minnesota. Freezes hot, you know, moonroofs like to leak. Not something I felt like dealing with. So I picked one of these up for, I got a 2018 with 11,000, 12,000 miles on it. Bought it about 2 or 3 months ago for 16,000. 16,500. So very lightly used. It was immaculate. The guy who owned it traded it in for a Beamer and couldn't believe how nice it was. I mean, the paint's flawless, and so I'm gonna, once the weather turns here, I'm gonna do some nice detailing on it and get it protected and figure out what I'm gonna do for the long haul. So we don't have the quick click for features here, or for specs rather, but going over it real quick. A lot better gas mileage. I forgot to mention that on the Focus ST, but the gas mileage is awful. 23 city, 32 highway. Nope, I don't think so. Not the way I drive, but in the Fiesta, I can get 29, 30 all the time. I mean, that's my average. I drove to Oklahoma City and back, went 80 miles an hour the entire way, both ways. I got 29 and a half, 30 average the whole way. So that 37 highway is fantastic for your commute. I really like it. Curb weight, 2537 to 2720. I think that is dependent on the moonroof, which adds weight, and a couple other options. You know, maybe the Recaros are a little bit heavier. I'm not positive, to be honest. Horsepower, it's about 200. They're going off that 120 is your base Fiesta. So I think when I was researching the Fiesta before, it was 2750 wet was the weight my Fiesta was when we weighed it. And so that's impressive. Full tank of gas, 2750 pounds. About 200 horsepower. Some say 199, some say 201. We'll just call it 200. Very modifiable. There's a lot you can do to them. Small gas tank, like all of them, puny gas tanks. And 0 to 60 times are around 7.1. Some people say 6.9, but again, it depends on the driver. About we'll call it 7. I would say the Edge ST can do it in 6. 0 to 60, 6 seconds, and 6.5 seconds for the Focus ST. and about 7 for the Fiesta. Now that being said, there is a Fiesta that just ran a 10-second quarter mile with a big turbo kit running stock motor, stock transmission, which is incredible. I mean, that should just be a testament to the kind of power you can put through these things. Also, the Focus ST has the 2.0 block that, if you know how to drive it, will probably not give you too many issues. Now that being said, you can find issues on every car, but you know, these are noteworthy for being pretty reliable motors. When I rebuilt my RS, we actually used the block from the Focus ST here to put in different pistons, connecting rods, and crankshaft, and we used that as a base, and that got us back to the 2.3 displacement using the 2.0 block, which is kind of cool. So if you're ever doing a rebuild on your RS, there are shops that know how to adapt these blocks to fit the RS. And that's what we went with because they're so much stronger, stout motors. The Fiesta has a little 1.6 liter. It doesn't say, I can't see it right away, but yeah, 1.6 liter 4-cylinder turbo. And I mean, the manuals are what make it fun. The Fiesta feels quick. You know, if I floor it in first and second gear, I still feel like I'm having a good time. I feel like I'm going as quick as the Focus ST just because it's so small. And some people hate how small it is. Without the moonroof, my buddy's like 6'2". I mean, he's a big guy and he can fit in there no problem. Really good cars, economical, really fun, and that's why I love it. It's kind of all around my favorite, and the ride quality is not bad if you leave it stock. My Focus ST actually was lowered by the previous owner, and it basically killed it for the highway. The RS had a horrible pogo sticking effect that was super uncomfortable, and obviously the Edge is fantastic. I mean, this is one of the most comfortable SUVs. I mean, it's just awesome. I really like it, and yeah, it's stiff suspension, but it's not uncomfortable, and it's all adaptive and all that good stuff. But there's a lot of technology packed into them. I'll go over all of these in more detail, but I just wanted to run through the STs that are available on the market right now. Neither of the Fiesta or Focus are available new anymore. 2019's last year, you can get those, but you can find them used for pretty good deals. The Focuses have dropped a ton of value. You can pick those up cheap. And the Edge ST, we'll see what the future holds for it, but they did make a 2020, and I haven't looked to see if the 21s are going to be a guaranteed thing. I imagine they will be just because these are known. But yeah, I called the dealer and said, hey, do you have one of these? They said, yeah, 36.5. Couldn't believe it. Went test drove it. Nothing was wrong with it. You know, warranty starts from the day I bought it, and I figured whatever. We're good for the powertrain for 5 years, 60,000, so why not? But if you have any comments on this or anything you'd like to add, just remember I'm doing more specific videos on all three here shortly. But this is the review of the STs on the market right now. And please comment, subscribe if you're interested to hear more. We're going to go through the Edge and a pretty good review here pretty soon. I'm waiting for the weather in Minnesota to stop deciding if it's going to rain or snow or be sunny for one whole day. So once that's done, we're going to knock out a review on the Edge and a review on the Fiesta as well, and maybe the Focus, but we'll see. There's a lot on those. But yeah, they're great cars. I like all three of them. Can't really go wrong. And if you're looking for a manual for cheap, get a Focus ST or a Fiesta ST. They are great cars, and there's a lot of support out there for them. So thanks for watching.